Hello and welcome to the Maze of Thoughts podcast. Here, co-hosting, I am Trey 50 Daniel alongside.
Now it's big. No wine today. I'm gonna be a sober mucky today, but it's all good. It's all good. Can't fucking be drinking every goddamn week.
You got
You
the
know?
coffee though. That'll perk you up.
Yeah. Speaking of coffee, I need to go get it. So entertain the individuals for a little bit, because I'll be RB because I really need that fucking coffee.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see. Of course, we've had Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hope everybody. Oh, we know Pig's afraid. Pig's always been afraid. Like he sees this stature and he just cowers in fear. Um, but yeah, we had Thanksgiving. Hopefully, everybody had a good Thanksgiving. You got full, and then you've probably participated in Black Friday sales to some degree. Um, gotta consume, be a consumer. Consume. Um, the only thing that I did is I had to buy a new keyboard because my space bar is kind of shot. So, anybody else pick up any good deals on Black Friday or anything? I mean, I know I saw a lot of good things floating around, nothing that I was interested in because I'm trying to hold back this year. I'm trying to do a little bit better about buying a bunch of stuff, useless stuff that I don't need. But hopefully, everybody who needed to get something, get that last minute gift or whatever, um, was able to find some stuff. And I saw a lot of good deals on games and stuff. A lot of good sales going on. So, if you haven't already, they should probably still have some of those sales. So check those out.
All right, I'm back. Oh man.
Welcome back. So,
So yeah.
what topic do we want to jump into first here?
I wanted to to ask, like, do you deal with coffee well, or are you good with like coffee?
Yeah, I mean, I drank some like at 3 o'clock today already.
Because coffee makes my bowels go, and I remember this story in particular, that it was essentially well, it's kind of a multitude of stories, but when I was in this vocational course when I was like 17 or some shit, basically, like, I'd have a coffee and a smoke prior to
The
go to
class, and then
the course, because we took like multiple buses to get there, because it was at like almost 100 kilometers away, and I don't know how many miles 100 kilometers are, but fucking do the math. I don't use stupid measurements. But like, basically, I drink a coffee and have a smoke, and then in the second bus, which was the bus to actually get the where I needed to be, like, my bowels just started like going all over the place, and literally
you're sitting there holding it in, just
dude, literally the
squeezing.
moment, and I don't hold it well like other people do, or like most people do. Some people, I fucking hear them talk like, "Oh, dude, I gotta take a shit," and I'm like, dude, if I said that shit, I actually had to take a shit, and I couldn't hold it for like 30 minutes more, or 1 hour, whatever the fuck. And so, the moment I'd step foot on the fucking ground from the bus, I'd have to go straight towards the cafe that was the nearest one, and just straight into the cafe and fucking take a shit, like, right in the morning. Like, it's something I've always hated, because like, you're sitting there taking a shit at like 8 in the morning, and I have to like buy something from the cafe, because it's like dude. It'd be so rude if you just go into the cafe and just like take a fucking shit, just like leave.
Oh, dude, I've done that like at some of the gas stations or whatever. You know, like and gas stations are the worst place to go. By the way, like it's absolutely degrading to have to go at any of the gas stations. But like if like I'm just gotta go, it's like okay, well I'm gonna stop at the gas station, and a lot of times I just run in and then I don't even buy anything, and I just go and then I get out. And then I just have to awkwardly walk out, you know, just knowing like, hey, I just blew that thing up. I'm gone.
uh, yeah. What? There was no gas stations nearby, so I literally had to go in the cafe because I could not. I shit you not. I'll get it. No, but I shit you not. I could literally not like walk to the place where the course was actually at, and then go take a shit there. Because then like most of these bathrooms, they're not that private and shit. It's just like
Yeah,
dude,
like the open stalls or whatever. I remember that kind of stuff, like having the open stalls. Dude, that made me so uncomfortable because every time like I was just like some dude's just gonna walk in here and just like see me sprawled out, like trying to just squeeze it out.
they weren't open, but the way they were closed, it wasn't that great either. So that's
Most of
more.
ours, like at my high school, like they would break the doors. I don't know why guys like thought that it was cool to like break the doors for whatever reason. So then like you'd have either the door would basically not be able to close, so people could just like walk right in on you, or it would be basically off at that point. And so you just have to like go in there, find a good decent stall if you can, and just go ahead and get it out.
That sounds stupid. Why the fuck would
Yeah,
anybody take out the doors?
I don't know. They were just
Was that
they
was
just
that
wanted to
like
punch something.
was
It
that
was like
like
a
an early devious licks?
It was just like a dude bro challenge. Like they would just try to like smash the bathrooms and stuff or whatever. It made no sense.
Drugs. I mean,
Maybe maybe drugs. I mean,
what age are we talking about here?
when this is when I was like 15, 16.
Oh,
So
to make it harder for people to do drugs in toilets. No, I don't think that was it.
mm,
I
no,
think it's
no, no.
just people
This
being stupid.
no. It was just people being dumb. Like there's
To be fair, dude, I did that shit myself when I was in middle school. I mean, I had just lost my grandmother. I was trying to cope with that shit, and um, I wanted to fucking rebel. I wanted to go against everything. You know what I mean? I was smoking everywhere, even where I wasn't allowed. Fucking people were. I got called so many fucking times to the director's place or whatever the fuck. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to destroy shit and fucking be a rebel and stuff. So yeah, but dude, I probably will have to take a break at some point to fucking go empty my bowels because of coffee.
I don't blame you. Like usually, if I have a decent amount of caffeine, it just goes right through me. Like, especially like drink just goes right through me. If I drink a lot, like of something, then all of a sudden I literally have to go, or else I like.
Yeah,
But so um, topics.
I
Let's
mean, I'm
start with
always
one.
selecting topics, so you go ahead, dude.
So I mean, I guess we can talk about the coolest thing I guess that happened this week that I'm sure everybody's excited for. Hive is actually above $2 right now. That's actually crazy.
I bet that by the time I have any Hive available, it's gonna drop back to fucking 80 cents or whatever. Because that's my luck. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, I'm keeping mine powered up for now. I mean, I don't see any reason to
yeah, well, I mean, I don't have any other source of income, so there's my reason. But
yeah.
you know, Even if it was at 80 cents, I'd be fine with it. But yeah, I have to do it. It just has to happen, you know? It's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's probably really good for you though, because I mean, all the how much Hive has went up, you know, it's
It,
had to be a
it
decent.
would be if I had any Hive, but I mean, okay. To be fair, it was even though it was like $1 at a few days ago or something before I went to 2. It was still pretty good. Honestly, anything above, if I mean, honestly, if it's $1, it's good enough. Because you know, it's just sort of, it's like you're getting the same exact amount of Hive that you have on Hive. Because if it's 80 cents, you're gonna get like, if you have like 20 Hive, you're gonna get like what, fucking 13 euros, 14 euros or some shit like that. And if it's $1, you're gonna get very close to what it is. So you're gonna get like 18 euros or something. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't really complain.
Yeah, I mean, just posting and earning too. I mean, look, you just it makes sense, and it's, you know, gotta help a lot of people that that Hive has been going up. I bought some whenever it was hovering like around $1, you know, just but Bittrex, I don't know if anyone uses Bittrex, but they just halted the withdrawals on it, so couldn't withdraw it to my Hive wallet, so that was unfortunate, but um, you know, is what it is. Maybe maybe it'll just pump and then I'll just sell it on the exchange anyway. That'd be funny.
Yeah,
I mean, it got up to like $3.40 at the high, which is crazy.
yeah, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. What do you think is causing that?
Well, I mean, it could be more people being exposed to it. Like I know that there was one big interview where someone, well, the guys from Three Speak, they got onto a big interview platform. I forget where who it was, but they got to do a big interview with a big YouTuber to talk about it, like a big crypto tuber. Um, so that could be part of it. Yeah, it was Charlie Shrimp. I don't know who he is or if he has a huge channel or anything, but it seems like he has like 200K followers. So maybe they heard about Hive and they thought it was interesting. But you know, you
Hmm.
combine that with this Splinterlands thing, you know, the new pre-sale for the all um the new the card packages for Splinterlands, that could be part of it. And then also, I mean, just in general, more and more people are finding all kinds of crypto. So I don't know. It could be a combination. But I definitely think that whoever bought is trying to be a whale in the Hive ecosystem, because there's no way that they bought little amounts with the way that the price action has been going.
Just eat a lot of food and you'll become a whale.
Yep.
Okay,
I
okay.
already did that before. I
Uh,
like I did that before, and I don't want to do that again. I have to undo that now. So
yeah, I bet a lot of whales are actual whales. If you know what I'm saying. Fucking idiot.
or
Anyways,
pigs, or pigs.
what the fuck's that supposed to mean?
You know what it's supposed to mean.
God damn it. Yeah, Johnny's a whale, dude. Johnny's a massive fucking whale. Anyways, um, yeah, so that's great. That's great. Um, okay, so I guess we can talk about this one for a little bit. So I hate how labels and words have become meaningless. And okay, so there's two parts to this, but let's talk about labels becoming meaningless first. So, uh, essentially, the other day I was watching this guy, and was watching a video in the comments. There's someone talking about how the fucking like, essentially, they have abandoned shit, and I was like, oh, okay, and so someone in the comments is saying, oh, like this dude's band is great and stuff, and so if you want, like, if you like death metal and stuff, go listen to it. And I'm like, okay, I love death metal. So it's been my shit for many years. Let me take a look at it. And it was not death metal. It was fucking pop rock, which is, I don't have anything against that, but don't call it death metal, motherfuckers. Like, because it's just tricking me to thinking that I'm going to be listening to something that I might find pretty cool, and then I don't. And then there's also, like,
Well,
for
I mean,
instance,
it's like people don't want to, like, they don't have any strict reasoning for exactly, like, labeling something that way. Like, it's kind of like now a lot
it's
of
how
things that,
everything is cringe nowadays. The fuck's
yeah.
that supposed to mean? Like, cringe used to be a thing that was like, that's cringe, and period. Like, why don't you say it's bad? Why do you have to say it's fucking cringe? Like, just say it's
Like
bad,
something,
dude.
yeah, it
The
doesn't make
fuck?
sense.
There's just so much more shit,
Well,
and
it's like people saying things are rap, and then, like, if you look at, like, old school, like, actual rap, it was more about, like, kind of like making actual lyrics. Now it's just like if you can somewhat rhyme two words together, and then all of a sudden and auto tune yourself
you
to
don't
death
even
on
need to
it.
rhyme, dude. You can't even
Yeah, half the
understand a
time.
single word they're saying because they're just like,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
fucking
like
Sylvester Stallone stoned out of his mind, fucking having a
Sylvester.
stroke? So imagine that shit, you
Yeah,
know?
I could see that. Sylvester Stallone just being like, hey man, you know,
No,
that would be a
it's
funny
literally
sight.
like a very high Sylvester Stallone having a stroke. So it's like, huh?
And
What the
then
fuck?
put a huge bass in the background. Just
It's like, speak words, motherfucker. What are you trying to say? And then all of them fucking speak the same. Have you ever seen, like, Channel 5 News with Andrew Callahan, or all, what was it? All gas, no brakes and shit? That dude's funny as fuck.
no, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen anything? But basically
I've not seen clips, but
every fucking video that dude makes, there's some goddamn douche trying to rap. And it's just the fucking most funny thing I've ever seen. It's like, is this what America has become, dude? It's like literally every single fucking video has a rapping cuck. Like, some of them are good, some of them, like, most of them are just garbage. And I'm like, dude, what the shit, man? But it is what it is.
yeah. And what's funnier is all of them think that they're gonna make it. Like they're like, bro, I put my stuff on SoundCloud. I'm gonna be the next Lil Wayne. I put my stuff on
Some of them
SoundCloud.
are not doing it for, like, making it. They're just doing it to whatever. But it's kind of like how there's, like, literally these two dumbasses who are clearly, like, grown ass men, and they're sitting there fucking, like, talking about how 6ix9ine is great, and I'm like, you're a grown ass man, motherfucker. Why do you listen to this shit? Like, why do you like this? With
I,
kids, a grown ass motherfucker with kids. Why do you listen to 6ix9ine when you have kids and you're grown up?
oh yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
yeah. That's
Like,
I sometimes listen to 6ix9ine ironically just because it's funny. Like
yeah,
just to get a
right.
laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, believe what you will. But yeah, it's funny that just especially like just the way he's talking, like he's just screaming, like It's all like 6ix9ine is almost like emo screech.
Yeah, you have kids.
Yes, I do, Ron.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Why are you listening to six
One.
nine, dude?
I
As
don't.
if you don't fucking know who 6ix9ine is, Ron. Fuck you.
Oh no. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
there it
Of
is.
course. That's gotta be a parody.
But it's just like I don't I don't understand why and or how this shit became so fucking popular. Because I mean, I understand because it's easier to listen to. Because if your brain is half dead, then it's like it's not very harsh to listen to it. But you know,
Yeah, I mean it's literally just music just to turn your brain off and just be like just listen to the blasting of the beat and listen to the like the person just like screaming in the microphone or whatever and then having the autotune play or what like how autotune their voice or whatever. It's just ridiculous. So,
that's another one I
but
never
yeah,
understood. Like the fucking abuse of autotune. It was a tool made to fucking sort of produce better songs. Now it's used as like literally the whole song, which it's not. It doesn't make music any better when you're singing is all autotune and nothing else. It doesn't make it better. It makes it very worse. So I don't know. These motherfuckers are just like they woke up one day, they fucking grabbed some shit, they probably hit their head on something, and they just decided, you know what, I'm gonna fucking like make a really boring and annoying fucking beat, and I'm gonna have a stroke on the microphone, and that's about it.
yeah,
So
I
yeah,
like when
that
T-Pain who was somebody who like basically abused autotune a lot. Who he did a song where he actually didn't use autotune, and honestly, he actually sings pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm like, wow, is this really this T-Pain? I don't understand. He actually has a pretty good voice if he actually tries to sing. I don't know why he used autotune then, but I guess it's because he
popularity.
doesn't have as good a voice as uh, like some other people. He doesn't have that great of a voice, but yeah, I mean it's passable.
Right. So that was the basically the part one where just I hate how labels are meaningless nowadays. Like everything's cringe. Fucking if you think like because like there's what is the point of calling pop rock death metal? Because I don't see any fucking point to that. Because I
Well, no,
mean,
it's not necessarily that they're like it's people not understanding what the label means. It's just like people talking about calling themselves gamers, right? And then they put like 2 hours a week into any games. Yeah,
Facebook games.
yeah, they're playing Farmville. They're like, I'm a gamer. No, but literally, like they could just say, oh, they could play Apex a few nights a week or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, bro, I play Apex, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my friends. Yeah, I'm totally a gamer, bro. It's just they don't understand what they don't understand what gamer means like as a whole, and then other people don't understand I don't know what death metal is other than I would say basically anything with like screaming and a lot of heavy metal sounds would be death metal to me, but I don't know death metal like you would, so I might classify it different just because I don't understand the label myself. So I can see why some people do that kind of stuff. It just not connecting the dots, I guess,
Yeah, but
or
like
not having an
there
understanding.
death metal has always been seen as sort of a thing people want to stay away from. Why the fuck do you want to call pop rock, which is something that everyone would listen to, death metal? That just doesn't
Well,
make
they,
no
they
sense to
they
me.
probably don't want to. It's probably that they just don't know like they don't know what death metal really is, and they heard some pop rock song, and then they think that like, oh, this sounds like a death metal song, like because it's different from it's like if I heard
There's there's literally no like I know you don't listen to metal music, but like there's literally nothing of like nothing that could possibly even remotely relate to fucking metal
well,
in
I
the
mean,
song that I heard.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, it may just depend on that song. I don't know. Like
No,
maybe they don't even know what
I
rock
listened
is.
to two songs, you know, so it was like, okay, well, there's nothing metal about that. I mean, it has guitars, it has drums, and that's about it, but there's nothing else to it. It's like, dude, why do you call this death? Dude, it pisses me off because somebody who reads that comment, like I read that comment, I was watching the dude that they were talking about, the YouTuber, and I thought I knew the guy had a band because he had like the whole vibe of tattoos on the like sleeve tattoos and shit. Had a drum kit on the back and stuff. And I was like, dude, totally gives a like a musician vibe. And I'm like, you know what? I want to listen to this because I want to give it a try. And the band's not bad. All right, I'm not saying that. Rock pop rock doesn't have to be bad necessarily. It's just something that it's a lot easier to listen for the majority of people, which is fine. A lot of musicians who are into the heaviest music sometimes do that shit because they just want to have a lot more reach rather than just being a niche thing. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But when I fucking hear this kind of shit, I'm like, dude, don't call this death metal. I fucking hate it because now I just listen to it and now I don't want to like it just because I feel tricked and I feel cheated. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, I mean, it's just people being ignorant. I think more than anything is just if it's either they're ignorant or malicious depending on the situation. Like there's certain situations where people like call each other certain names or whatever, and then or they give themselves certain labels. Some of it may be malicious, and then other times, like if it's something like that, like a you know metal, saying something's metal rock or whatever, basically like there's some people who say stuff is punk, and I'm like, this is not even close to being like punk music. Punk music is completely different, like anti-establishment messages and everything. I don't understand how like some generic rock song is punk. It's yeah, but it's a lot of ignorance on people's behalf, and then just sometimes it may be malicious depending on the circumstance.
yeah, true. I mean, true. Um, but when you're ignorant, I mean, if you're on the internet, it doesn't take much to like do a little bit of research. You know what I mean? Then there's
I
another
think too,
thing.
there's just too many people too lazy. Too many people too lazy.
Yeah. Then there's another, which I said like there were two parts to this. The second part is certain labels and words getting too much power. People giving words too much power, and if people didn't give certain words too much power, they'd be okay. They'd be whatever. No one be offended. No one be fucking. Oh, what? What do you mean? But we just basically given certain words way too much power, and it just has developed this fucking these generations of absolute absolute uh
Well, I mean, this
snowflakes.
is where I have to say, like, a lot of today's generation obviously wouldn't survive in Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. I mean, it's just honest. Like, they wouldn't survive that basically like pure unadulterated abuse that people would just talk trash in the middle of a game, and just like literally talk about all the things that they would do to your mom or whatever, and they would be like, oh, how dare you talk about my mother that way, that's so rude. It's like, no dude, like you got to realize you're on the internet. The internet is a place where some of these words, they may have certain meanings, but they're not gonna kill you. And like, I mean, even if someone says that that they want to, there's no likelihood that that person is actually going to travel either across the country or across another country, come from somewhere else and actually try to take you out or whatever. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Like, people, they're just soft. Like,
I mean, there's weirds for everything. Um, or weirdos rather, for everything. I think I've heard stories of like people who literally stalked others for the stupidest reasons, and they ended up like going into their houses and shit. So, so I wouldn't say they won't do it, but it is what it is. It's
I mean, I
more,
would say like the likelihood of it happening are like
yeah,
1 in 100, like 1 in 100 chance, maybe, or even more than that, probably. But like, I would
yeah,
say probably,
I
you know,
agree. I just I just wish like words were not, so if people didn't make the words so powerful, I think the world would be a better place. Because it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, I mean, sometimes you get called all this, all that, and it's just move on. Move the fuck on, dude. Like, who gives a shit? You know? But yeah, that was essentially what I wanted to talk about in regards to that sort of stuff. So, what's next?
I guess we could talk about we could talk about the COVID. COVID is having another variant. So, and according to someone
COVID?
that
What is this?
yeah, what is this COVID? Apparently, there was a funny tweet that I had saved from somebody. It says, "New COVID variant, patch 2.1854 notes addressed an issue where people were getting a little too comfortable living with the Delta variant. General performance improvements, increased blast damage from 18 to 20." Supposedly, this is a supposedly this is a new variant that they're having, and they're locking down uh,
Wasn't the
travel from the
vaccine
U.S.
supposed to sort of like, prevent COVID and shit?
Well, you would think that, but apparently this variant is from different regions in Africa, and so now they're saying, "Hey, we need to get vaccines to Africa as well." Uh, it's very bizarre, but it's up until now that there hasn't really been a problem. So I don't know where this variant is coming from or whatever, and
Hmm.
how it's just coming from Africa to just already being across the world. Whenever every country is locking down so hard, I mean, Australia, you can't do anything. I mean, in I think New Zealand, you can't do anything either. You just locked in your house. So I
Yeah.
don't know how much further can we go. I mean, really.
Dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. Cause like, uh, it's just stupid in my opinion.
Stay
I don't.
stay safe, Gabriel. Stay safe if you're going to a rally. Because I mean, I've seen bad things happen at those rallies because of people. People, I think sometimes it's just the cops provoking it at the point because they're tired of dealing with people protesting the things that are you know going on. So I mean, stay safe out there.
Yeah, I'm a contrarian, so I'll say, go out there and get fucked up, dude. Hell yeah. Do some mosh pits. Do some crowd surfing if
Mosh,
you can.
some just mosh in the middle of the protest.
Yeah. Have you ever seen those like uh religious videos and shit where there's just like such an amalgamation of people sort of to hear like a pope or to hear like whatever some religious fucking figure? you know.
Yeah,
Uh, so I
like the
remember, like
Vatican or
I have to sort of give credit for this one because this was like a Portuguese show, comedy show that is, and we have in the town of Fatima, which is like sort of a sanctuary in Portugal and shit. And the Pope went over there or some fucking thing like many years ago, and usually I went there for many years because my grandmother was incredibly religious, and I would go there myself and fucking put like a candle on the thing and whatever. Let me see if I can find a picture of this um, to show you kind of like what it is. But yeah, a lot of people would get together in there and shit, and like, you know, it's just, oh yeah, here we go. Kind of a perfect example right there. So there we go. I put it on Discord, MSPWaves Discord. So that's kind of like what it is. And this dude was making like a show, and he was making it like a pilgrimage type deal, where he'd go from like his spot to this place, Fatima, and essentially pilgrimage is you're supposed to walk, right? From point A to point B. This dude took a fucking Segway. Was just mocking the other pilgrims. Yeah, he was taking a fucking Segway like, hey guys, how's it going? Oh, really tough walk, isn't it? Oh, fucking pilgrimage is tough. As he's fucking doing the thing on the fucking Segway. So then he's in there, he reaches the point he wants to be in. He just goes, wow, look at all those people, that'd be perfect for a mosh. So, you know, I fucking lost it when the guy says that shit, because it would be perfect for a mosh.
yeah.
So
all of a sudden they freak out, and then they get upset and then start just moshing because of that. Like mosh all the way around the like, stop, you lied to us.
That would be funny. But then again, a lot of people don't understand moshing. Moshing's not well, it's an
not
aggressive
particularly
practice,
violent, but it's not particularly like violent. Like you're not really trying to, if you're moshing, you're not necessarily trying to actually like kill people.
Not in underground shows, but if like I've seen so many clips of mainstream fucking shows, like for instance the mainstream festivals here in Portugal, for instance. You have a lot of these fucking like normies that go to like metal shows, and they see the metalheads having fun, and they feel fucking jealous about it, so they just go in, and when people are moshing they go in and kick them and stuff like that. I've seen that happen a lot of times. But, you know, it's just people being fucking stupid. Normies, essentially. Because they're jealous they can't have fun.
Yeah.
So, fuck those idiots, dude. Anyways.
So dumb.
So, what were we talking about again? Were we talking about a topic, or was that just random?
We went off ranting after the COVID thing. I mean, how long until they just give up? You know, I mean, that's one thing that I'm curious about. It's like, how long until they just give up and say, you know, we tried to stop it. Like, let's just, because it's obviously something we're gonna have to deal with, like the flu. Every oh, I know I'm gonna be the one that people are gonna hate for saying that or whatever. But like, it clearly is acting like the flu in the way that it's gonna exist. Like, it's gonna be here every year probably, right? I mean, so I don't see why people are,
Do you think it's actually a thing? Because I don't like. I've talked about this previously on other shows I did here. But do you actually think COVID is actually a thing, or do you think like? Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you think it's a thing as it has been portrayed in the beginning, where people just literally fall over and dead immediately, or do you think that was a sort of a dramatization of what it actually is, and in reality it's kind of not really that bad. It's so hard for me to fucking like say these things because I know there's people who lost loved ones, people who actually got the thing and felt it themselves. And
I have a
I
I have
don't
a little bit of a nuanced take on it. I guess is my take on it is that it does exist. It is real. It's not like it's not fake. It does exist, but it's not clearly not as bad to for most people, for the majority of people. If you're not like either built like a house, I guess, like you're not built like a land whale, an actual land whale. Those people are going to struggle with it, obviously, because they have, they have obesity issues. If you're extremely obese, then yeah, probably you're probably going to have a little bit of trouble with it. Or if you're older, and I think that's going to happen anyway. Like any disease that hits somebody who's older is a chance that it can be rough for them compared to anyone. But like someone like my age, I'm in decent shape. I wouldn't say I'm in great shape, but I'm in decent shape. It's not going to affect me. I don't really care, and I don't want to be forced into this whole thing if I don't need it. So
you see
it's
that's the thing. I'm not in great shape. I'm a fat motherfucker. Um, Making fun of whales and stuff. I know I'm a hypocrite, but fucking what am I? What are
well,
you
but I
gonna do
mean,
about it, huh?
you don't
But
you don't look you're built like a house though. Like there are some people
um,
who are actually like actually look like they could
oh, when you're
fill a whole
saying
house.
built like a house, you're saying like actually
Like
morbidly obese.
yes, like six
Oh,
like the 600 my 600 pound life and stuff like
I
there are
thought you
people
were
like
talking
that. Yeah.
about. I thought you were talking about like people being built like a house, actually having like fantastic immunity systems and shit. Um,
No. No, I'm talking about people who are actually look like a house.
but so the thing is, I'm fat as fuck. Well, I'm fat. I don't know. I've always felt fat as fuck, but whatever. But I'm pretty fat. I barely wash my hands because I'm a dirty pig. Uh, I've been smoking since I was 12 years old. I barely exercise, and for the most part, I sit on my ass all day. Why have I never gotten anything in a town that had tons of people fucking infected at some point? And I've stopped wearing mask. Very, very. Basically, like in the sort of in 2020, when I started realizing that shit was fucking up with my breathing, I immediately stopped wearing masks. Well, I'd wear masks inside and stuff because of respect for other people, but outside I'd just be like, I don't give a shit. I also don't really care about life anymore. I don't care if I live or die. So it's kind of has a little bit to do with it, but I just it's kind of whatever, like never got anything. I do, to be fair though, I didn't really necessarily grow up like a lot of these people nowadays where they just they don't build like immunity systems, or their immunity systems are
Yeah.
fucked up because they're just inside all the time. They're always taking medicine for everything, every little bit of cold and shit. It's always like fucking oh, here's medicine and stuff. Whereas I as a kid, well, like we've been talking previously, we're literally like fucking rednecks in Portugal, right, where I live. And essentially it's like when we're kids and stuff, we're playing with like bugs on the ground, and we're
But yeah.
fucking like picking them up, picking lizards up, fucking playing with lizards, running around, playing hide and seek and all that kind of shit, playing European football and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I mean like
I don't know if that plays a
me,
part.
I've had that experience as a kid too. Here, a lot of our time was spent playing in the yard, getting dirty, getting dusty, doing all kinds of crazy things out there. And even my son now he loves playing outside. He likes it, like you said, like getting the bugs and all that stuff. And he's an outdoor kid, obviously, but it's good for him to do that anyway because it's going to build his immune system and make him a lot
Yep.
stronger. But I think like the more and more generations that we go along that have these kids that are absolutely sheltered to the point of it's only making these viruses and stuff potentially worse. If they're really sheltered and they're really, they don't have that exposure to a lot of it, they're just going to be completely bereft of any of any sort of immune system whenever it comes to viruses. They're just going to be super weak.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, it could play like that could necessarily like that could totally play a part in how dangerous COVID could be. But I don't want to with this. I don't want to be patronizing or I don't want to be diminishing or anything for anybody that got the thing or anything.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's gonna bother. It's gonna affect some people, and it's gonna bother them and actually cause problems for them, and it could mess up their health for the rest of their life. But for the majority of people, though, I would say, as long as you're not a dinosaur, and as long as you're not literally living my 600-pound life, I think you're gonna be okay, most likely.
You know why I never got it? Because I'm a smoker, dude. And a smoker is immune to COVID. I'm telling you, dude.
There was a stud. There was a study saying something like that. Actually, people who smoked didn't get COVID as bad. I think there was
Yeah,
one study talking about that.
we're
I thought that
immune
was
to
pretty
it.
funny.
We're immune to it. We're gonna be we're in 5 years. We're gonna be like the what's her name? That chick from Resident Evil. And they're gonna try to catch us because we're immune and stuff, and they're always gonna pick smokers up for fucking experiences and shit and get our blood and whatnot because we're immune to it, man.
Yeah, speaking of that, though, I saw some. I don't know if the memes are true, but apparently, um, unvaxxed sperm is up actually like 1,000% in price. So if you want to go down to your local bank and donate, and you know especially
Sperm.
if you got good genes. Yes.
Oh, um I thought about that shit, man. Because I have no fucking income, so I was like, dude, I jerk off all the fucking time. Why not sell some of it? You know what I mean? But I don't think we have. I don't think we have that kind of shit here, or if we do, it's only in the fucking normie places, like only in the big cities like Lisbon and shit like that, and the Porto in the north. I don't think. I don't really think where I live basically in the region where I live. I don't think there's anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're out in the boondocks, as we would say, I guess, like out in the country area, the rural
Yeah,
area.
pretty much. So, it kind of sucks because I wish I could do it. I don't know
Pretty
if I
funny. Just
like
go,
probably.
I'm going to work today, and then all of a sudden just go in there and like, oh yeah, let's see what we can look at today. And all of a sudden, just
Probably not gonna have
you just gotta make sure
fucking.
you hit the jar, or whatever.
I'll hit everywhere, dude. It's okay. If I miss it, you know I'll just get back to it, I guess, and do it again. But yeah, you know, it's tough for me to say whether because I personally I don't know, 'cause I never, as someone who's such a careless person, to not get it, it's a little bit kind of like rough. But yeah. So I guess we
Yeah, I
could.
mean, are y'all cities kind of locked down pretty bad because of all this,
Nah,
or?
we
Really?
don't even wear masks indoors anymore. The mask obligation was lifted in October. So
That's crazy that like all the other EU countries seem to be like really gung ho with trying to make sure that people are complying, whatever.
uh yeah, again, I don't live in the city, so I don't know about the cities. People in the cities are probably a lot more, as people still wear masks a lot. If like literally, yeah, well, not yesterday, but today, like in the afternoon, I went to the bank and I went to buy smokes, and people were wearing masks all over the place. So they won't wear masks if they're in a cafe having a drink or eating or something. But outside, it's yeah. And there's one thing, there's one fucking thing that I never understood, which was like I don't think I see it that often anymore, but um, it was like uh people in their cars by themselves wearing masks.
Right. Yes. That one gets me all the time. Like it is, or like even if it's like I'll see like a husband and wife. Some like it's not as bad here because we don't have like any restrictions regardless city, rural area, whatever. Like if I go into the big, or the biggest city near me, like if I go into our main city, essentially there's nobody. There may be a few people who are wearing masks on their own, but like it's not forced anywhere really, except for hospitals. Hospitals are the one place where they're really forcing it.
I honestly I would wear a mask in the hospital even if it wasn't for COVID. It's just like hospitals are dangerous. Hospitals are more dangerous than the fucking.
Well, I mean, some
Uh,
people are even like they're just going in like husband and wife. The wife is about to have the baby or whatever, and they're being forced to wear the mask or whatever. And there was one guy who just got kicked out, and I saw like it was a big ordeal because he was like saying no, I want to be here. Or well, no, actually, I think they were telling him he just couldn't be there in general because they only allowed people who. Um, I don't think it was people who were vaccinated, but it was just they would only let certain couldn't have anybody in there because they were a risk. Like if you were in there and you were in the room when all that was going on, other than the doctor, then you were a risk, whatever. So,
hmm.
um, but yeah, it's
Well, I
it's it's
think if
messed
you're
up.
going to an hospital and it's I think everyone should wear a fucking mask in the hospital. To be honest, because it's dude, it's a
Well, I mean, for
hospital.
for
People are
something like
all
a
everybody's sick. Okay, some people are coughing. There's like fucking shit all over the fucking place. You don't like. There's all kinds of diseases in the same place. You have the fucking waiting rooms, which are also filled with like fucking like diseases and all kinds of shit. So it should be like an obligation uh, for everyone. So you know, but that's just my thoughts.
they're calling you out here. What about building your immune system? Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like if you're like I wouldn't like to go in there and knowingly like with people who are sick and get sick. But like if it's something like a clean procedure where you're just getting a knee replacement, people getting a knee replacement or something like that, or you're getting something worked on with your back, or something that's not like due to sickness. I think you shouldn't have to wear it, but that's
Dude,
just
but what don't the like wait, your hospitals don't like what your hospitals don't have individual places for every single patient. You're gonna have waiting rooms. You're gonna have places where people are concentrated, waiting for like their appointment or something, right? So that's basically what I'm saying. Uh,
yeah, but they're
you,
different. Like you have different wings of the hospital for that. I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe y'all's hospitals are smaller or whatever, but like there's whole different wings dedicated to that kind of stuff. The Jeff game go.
well, okay. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just think it's kind of bad, kind of a bad deal. Uh, okay, so I guess we could talk a little bit about like the sort of the. I guess it was the main topic I had, and since like crypto is kind of always on the fucking brink of everyone's attention. But yeah, so I don't know if you watched the CoffeeZilla and some ordinary gamers back and forth videos on the whole like whatever Steve does it or Steve will do it or whatever the fuck his name was, but it was essentially this dude and these motherfuckers who started sort of like getting money from these crypto casinos and shit, and they make these videos and stuff and these live streams, and it's just basically gambling, and most of these casinos are not even like regulated properly. They're all in Curacao and shit like that.
Yeah.
So this
So
most
I didn't
most of
yeah,
these
I didn't
streamers
see the
most of these streamers hold on most of these streamers have their audiences are basically just like kids. They're teenagers, they're pre-teenagers, they're young adults, people who barely, maybe they have the fucking luck of, you know, having their parents and stuff to take care of them, but some don't. And gambling is a very dangerous addiction. It can fuck up people's lives. It will, and it's really fucked up. So it's a difficult thing when for me it's difficult to watch this kind of shit, because when you have these people with such large audiences, like some of them have tens of thousands of viewers, some of them have thousands of viewers, and you know a lot of those are kids, teenagers, preteens, young adults, and they're just constantly like, they literally, what they do for the most part of their live streams is fucking gambling. And I'm sitting there like, why? You already, because most of these do this gambling shit because of how much they make per stream, because of like the sort of the advertisement deal that it gives them. But
yeah,
dude,
to me,
why?
they're all in the same vein of like the gambling is bad, but to me even the ads of like raid, if I have to hear every time Raid Shadow Legends, like this is a garbage game that's just monetized to hell, that they get to read ads, and because those people get paid, they read that ad for Raid Shadow Legends, and I never care about it. Um, but it's even worse whenever they're getting paid. You know that it's an ad clearly, and then they act like their luck is they act like they're lucky, and that they're really not. They're actually, it's actually rigged. The game is rigged for them to like pull a slot. Oh, look at me! Oh man, I got 500 cat coins. I got 500 cat coins. I'm rich in cat coins now. Oh yeah, and then they pull the lever again and they win again, and it's like, clearly this is not the results that somebody else is going to get whenever they pull this lever. So it's lying, it's deceitful. Like it's actually bad for people to be exposed to that, especially at such a young age, because they don't really have the understanding of processing. Like, hey, this is a scam. This is I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get duped. And especially with
No,
the
but
education of kids nowadays,
that's
they're just so dumb that they.
that's a problem, but that's not the major problem. The major problem is getting kids addicted to gambling in the first place. It doesn't have to be rigged stuff. Like, it could be stuff that's not rigged, but it doesn't really matter, because the house always wins. So it's like, even if one person out of all of them get lucky, it's still, to me, it still feels scummy as fuck, because the amount of money they're getting for the shit they're doing like doesn't really validate the fact that they could possibly be ruining most of their people's
Well,
most of their audiences sort of like lives possibly, and maybe one of them get lucky, maybe they don't, but the risk is way higher than if you just like sit there and just watch or whatever. But it's just so stupid to me that these dudes do this shit because they already make enough money. These motherfuckers that get these deals, they already make enough money to live very, very, very comfortable lives, and they're still taking these fucking deals. And it's like, man, why? Don't do this. Just don't do this. Fucking like promote something else. Promote like fucking, I don't know. Promote.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if they were to promote,
shit.
yeah. I mean, if they were promoting like 18 different mobile games, I don't really care like as much as if they actually are promoting gambling, because there's a lot of scam coins. Like even some people were just saying, hey, maybe you should buy this crypto, and it's a garbage crypto coin, but like it's a garbage cryptocurrency. But
I don't know which streamers you're watching, man, but I don't think I've ever seen a streamer promoting a mobile game. But they're all, I'm talking about live streams. I'm not talking about videos on YouTube. I'm talking about actual live streams where they're streaming the gambling themselves. They're showing the gambling. They're doing all kinds of shit, and people are watching the gambling live, and they see that they have these massive amounts of money, and they don't process and they don't understand that a massive amount of money they have in their accounts, their gambling accounts, has been given to them by the people, and by the people that are basically hiring them as like advertisers and shit. They don't process that. They don't understand it. They think that all the fucking cash they have there has been sort of like won or something. They think, wow, dude, I could also have that. But no, you cannot have that. And like you said before, a lot of this shit is rigged. Not everything is rigged, but a lot of it is rigged. Especially these fucking crypto casinos, unregulated and shit. They can be rigged as people want it to be. So, crypto itself is already a gamble enough, to be honest.
So I think like what would be good is if if they're gonna stream the content, it should be locked to 18 plus only, obviously.
That's impossible to get, dude, because you can lie about your age. You don't need IDs to fucking prove that.
Yeah,
shit.
But I mean, like, the site itself. So
technically, if you are on Twitch and you make your stream mature audiences only, technically you're already sort of doing that. You're already sort of going after like 18 plus, etc., where people have to say, yes, I am of age, start watching before they can open the stream. But you could be 12 years old, who knows?
Click yes, and
you click start watching anyways. So,
So I think that it's on the sites themselves should be held accountable, obviously. And they should have to, they should require, if they're going to have gambling, preferably... Ideally, I would like to think that parents would make sure that their kids are not gambling, especially like, why would they be giving? I mean, I would like to think that, I would make sure my kids weren't, but if people aren't going to do it, I think that the sites themselves should have to if you're going to register to gamble, you need to provide photo ID, you need to have a couple of documents to show that you are you, and that you actually have you're a real person, you pay bills, or whatever, or you exist and you function within society, and you have your documents. I don't know. That would be the most sensible thing to me, to have some kind of documentation on you if you actually want to gamble.
Yeah. Fuck, I was gonna say something that kind of felt a little bit important, and then I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I mean, especially with Twitch's nature lately, with well, I say lately, but like I think they've been trying to sort of uh, getting around this shit with the booby streamers and stuff. But yeah, like if you see these, if you see like a lot of popularity came from these streamers, basically, where they're just like sitting there fucking rubbing a microphone and licking a microphone, and
Yeah,
I don't
I
understand
mean,
that. Um,
I mean, it gets 13-year-old boys money, obviously.
I I don't I don't necessarily like, I hate ASMR that's like, whispering and shit, but I don't hate that kind of ASMR that's like tapping on things and sort of like squeezing shit or whatever. I'm okay with that. Some of it is actually relaxing because I have tinnitus, and tinnitus is just a constant fucking ringing on my ears 24/7. And some of it is actually relaxing. Some of it actually masks the fucking tinnitus, and it makes it a little bit better. But when it's the fucking whispering shit, I can't deal with that. When it's like fucking eating things, I can't stand that. So yeah, no. But it is
Yeah,
what it
but
is. It is what it is. The thing is, like these girls just basically sexualize the whole thing for profit. And if it was on a different platform, I wouldn't give a fuck. But when it's not even for me, but it's like other women, other girls that want to play video games and show that they're good at video games and shit. It's like, dude, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Because like,
yeah, I mean,
uh,
like they don't even have to try. Like that's the worst part about it is like if I were if I were in that scenario, it would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna get the lowest cut top and or, whatever, or some basically show nothing, I mean, have nothing on, and then show everything, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna instantly have a bunch of viewers, as opposed to someone who's actually trying and actually wants to like play games or whatever, do what the site was actually. And I mean, to some extent, since it was just in TV, a lot of it was sort of vlog live streaming, but none of it was like what it is now, to where like they're
Twitch
trying to.
TV was a
Twitch
sort
TV
of
was just
the
game.
exactly. Twitch TV was, before it became Twitch, it was all on Justin TV, and they just made Twitch to specifically make video games live streams. So to sort of be like, well, but Justin TV was this, Justin TV was that. No, Justin TV was Justin TV, and then they made Twitch so that people could stream their games in a specific place and have a better place, or have a specific place for people to watch video games in. And
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
I when I start seeing these kinds of things, I feel like just either stop it all or open it all up for people. Either stop all the fucking booby streamers that are sexualizing content, sort of are trying to bypass the rules of oh, this is not sexual because I'm not really doing anything sexual. This is not pornography. Blah blah blah. And either stop it all or accept it all. Make a fucking 18 plus section to your site where you actually have to provide ID verification or phone verification, whatever the fuck. There's gotta be other ways of verifying your age prior to you giving your real name and shit. Like, there should be ways to do this. I don't
I
know.
mean, the easiest way to verify people is like if you want to see mature content, like here's what we could do is if you want to see mature content, you've got to upload a picture of your driver's license, both sides, to show a picture of your driver's license, and then that would be, show that you're at least 16, or whatever, preferably, and then I mean, and then you could actually parse it and say like, hey, this person, is 18. And that would be part of the verification process. They would verify you, and they would say you're 18, and then you could actually look at it. No, the
Yeah.
COVID card does not count. I'm the 16.
But basically,
Y'all keep changing your names. Why do you guys change your
basically,
names?
essentially, you know, just just my opinion. Either accept it all or don't accept anything, and stick to fucking gaming. And period. Because Twitch nowadays, it's open to a lot of shit. You have the just chatting shit. You have the talk shows and podcasts. Um, you have like gambling specific categories. You have crypto categories. You have categories for music, for sort of creative, for art, for all kinds of shit. So, I mean, why not? Why not? Why not allow all of it? Why not allow all of it and fucking make even more money? Fuck, you think people wouldn't come to Twitch if there was like a triple X section to it? I fucking I'm 100% certain there would be a lot of them. I don't know. Then people would be fucking mad, like, oh my god, dude, god damn it, fucking. Then it's like, you know,
And
now
I guess
we're
that
gaming
they're
and we don't getting any viewers, dude. Fuck.
well. I think that they have a point. Really, yeah. I mean, what I'm specifically referring to is not like if the Twitch wants to have their cake and eat it too, then they need to have a process where people can vet and Twitch. Not I'm talking about not these shady sites like you guys are talking about. I'm talking about Twitch
What do
themselves,
you
like
mean shady
the actual.
sites?
They're talking about shady prawn sites. Like if you go to a
Why do you
shady
say?
prawn site,
Oh, you have a kid, so I guess it's
yeah,
understandable. I just say porn.
yes,
I don't have a
yeah,
problem saying prawn or porn.
yeah, but yeah, they're talking about like uploading your driver's license to those sites. No, I'm talking about the if it was on Twitch, if they want to have their cake and eat it too, make people have a process that they have to go through to get to that point. But really, I would say just get rid of it all. They need to just Twitch if all they did was just say you can't do this. You have to. I mean, institute an actual like dress code, like where it's like, hey, you can't be, basically nude, and then I know people would get upset about that. There are a lot of women who don't like that whole idea of like, oh, they get mad about different stuff in schools or whatever, like high schools. Oh, they were too small of a spaghetti strap or whatever, some kind of thing. And it's like, but if you're wanting to be taken seriously as a streaming site, like it's as a gaming streaming site, or in something in the middle, just streaming content that's not actual prawn.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Um, but I yeah, I just there's all kinds of websites there, and it's just I don't know. I don't know. Twitch is for gaming. All this time I thought it was for really nervous people. Uh, it is kind of. So yeah, I just I wanted to bring that up about like the whole gambling shit because I feel like it goes a little bit too far at times, and I don't think people should be promoting gambling that much, especially towards kids. Even for adults, it's like gambling. I mean, I just disagree with promoting gambling all over. Um, people can really be sensitive. I mean, fucking hell, dude. What made a lot of people jump into crypto was quite literally there was like quite literally how do I put this? Basically, fuck, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Sucks being retarded, dude.
You were saying like as like the way that they were the whole thing brought upon was by some people talking about crypto or something along
Oh
those
yeah,
lines.
okay, right. Thanks. Okay, so how a lot of people got into crypto and stuff was because of how they needed something, how they needed to make something, like because COVID stopped a lot of people from working and stuff, prevented a lot of people from working, and people see themselves in this state of sort of like despair or what's the fucking word I'm looking for, man? God damn it. Um,
Well, I mean, people don't have an income, like right? They don't have a.
why don't I
They're
have the
desperate.
words when
They're
I'm fucking
desperate.
talking? Holy shit. But, like, why do I always blank out when I'm fucking speaking live? But when I'm not speaking live, the words come to me. Fucking bullshit. But people were like, this is how a lot of motherfuckers like prey upon the needy and the people that are sort of like in tough situations and shit. And that's why a lot of people got into crypto and stuff, because this is how it goes. People need something, and that's why a lot of people sort of see gambling, or might see gambling as well, as an opportunity and a chance to basically make some fast money or some quick cash and go along with that. And this is, you know, which is literally what, like, we talked about it with dating sites and all that kind of shit, where there's a lot of predatory bullshit happen, or that happen, and it's just, you know,
I find
that's
it
how
to
it
be like a
goes.
lot like there's a lot of people who do like TikToks too, like trying to pump a certain coin or whatever. And I think that TikTok is being a platform like that now. So they'll be like, "Bro, look at like um garbage coin. Like we need to buy garbage coin. It's gonna be the best coin ever. Clearly, garbage coin is gonna moon. It's right there. It's gonna moon." And then all of a sudden, people buy garbage coin, and then they immediately are being they're gonna get taken. It's gonna be a rug pull on them, and they're getting taken advantage of because someone told them that they may should look into it. But it's one of those risks when you're online, and I don't know if we can 100% mitigate it, like because to some degree it takes you doing your own research at the end of the day. You know, doing stuff like people buying stocks like GameStop and stuff like that, and just or AMC and just going all in on it. It's a huge risk, and they're gonna have to be able to manage that on their own. If they're not comfortable with it, they don't need to be trying to invest in it or trying to do it. But I do see how like like teenagers, they don't need to be exposed to it in the way to, because they're just they're gonna ruin their whole life savings in one go, and then they're gonna be wondering why they can't get on in life.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, well, that's that. So, anything else? You got some topics over there? What do you want to talk about now?
There was a cool video I watched this past week talking about return policies on software, and mainly it was talking about games mainly. But I wonder what you think about this. So a lot of the return policies on games, if I play a game for say 20, I put 20 hours into a game, and it crashes on me in the middle of like my save, and all of a sudden I lose my whole progress, and then I have to play the game again to get actual bugs and faulty products in these games, like people had with Cyberpunk and stuff like that. I mean,
Or Battlefield
at what point?
2042?
Yeah, I mean, some people had problems with that. I didn't have any. I didn't run into the bugs, but I saw a lot of people saying that they had those bugs with the game. But you know,
I mean, Gundam literally made a video on it, like where basically the base game was broken and the good game was like the Portal shit, which brought me
yeah, I
to
mean,
the whole
if
point when I was live streaming. I don't know if you remember this shit, but I was live streaming at some point, streaming Assassin's Creed 4, and you asked me what games are you excited about for the next future or whatever the fuck, and I was like, I don't get excited for games anymore. And there's a perfect example why I don't get excited for games anymore. They're broken because no one gives a shit anymore, because games are no longer meant to be experiences. They're meant to be fucking products to profit. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
that was just a random ramble right there.
yeah, but like what the video that I watched was talking about is you know, these return policies, essentially some of them say you can't even open the product. Like you can't even launch a game. And I mean, it should they have some responsibility to maintain the software if they're going to sell it to you on the market? And that's one thing that people were asking the questions about is like, is it predatory for them to sell you a game that you know that they know you can't play? Kind of like Titanfall is still being sold today, and a lot of times there's a hackers who have basically locked people out from being able to play Titanfall multiplayer. So Titanfall 2 and I think the original Titanfall multiplayer, both of them are almost unplayable at times because of these hackers who just have access to basically they can mess with the servers and overload the servers, and now nobody can log on to the servers even. So they bought a game maybe on a sale or whatever, and then they can't even launch it. So what should these return policies be like? I mean, if should I be able to return a game at any point? I mean, like if there's an actual say if I have something, I can have any random product around here, and I could probably if I bought it at Walmart or whatever, I can just take it back to Walmart. I don't even need a receipt most of the time, and they'll just take it back. They'll just say, hey, you know, okay, we'll give you this much, on a card or whatever, and then you can come back and buy with it, But for games, there's not that option.
I dude, I mean, I think it all comes down to what fucking people allowed. And people allowed for a lot of shit. And if people were a little bit more confrontational and people were more sort of open about their concerns and shit, and instead of just complaining on Twitter, they actually went to like actual meaningful things, meaningful means, that is, I think gaming would have never become what the fuck it is nowadays. It would have never become like this fucking corporate bullshit we're going to. And people allowed for this shit. People kept buying early access games even when Total Biscuit, may his soul rest his peace, even when Total Biscuit was fucking talking about it and saying it's bad and it's stupid to buy games in early access because they're not fully done yet. You know, you're buying a chair that's not even built. What the fuck are you gonna sit on? The base of the chair, but you're gonna still be sitting on the ground. So it's stupid. People
I mean, there's
purchasing shit just because for what? Oh, you get a little cool thing or whatever the fuck. What's the point of that? Like, what's the fucking point of that? You pre-purchase a game, the game's broken as shit, and boom, they made their money, and it's you're just wasting money because it's expensive as shit to pre-purchase fucking games, and it's just for virtual bullcrap that no one gives a fuck about after 2 weeks, like for instance, I remember pre-purchasing Overwatch gave you like a skin, was like Noir Widowmaker, whatever the fuck. And I barely see anybody wearing that fucking skin, using that skin on Widowmaker. So it's like, what the fuck is the point? Like, for a few weeks? Like,
yeah.
What do you need? Why do you want that? If nobody allowed that shit to happen, they'd have to adapt to it. And they would have to sort of come up with like some other way of doing shit. you know. But because people, and a lot of people apparently continuously still fucking pre-purchase things, it's, you know, it's like it's like you're paying. Let's say you're going to the butcher shop and you want to sort of buy a beef or whatever, and you pay for the beef even though it wasn't given to you, and the fucking, like, the
Get the
animal
lowest
was
cut.
full of the animal was full of diseases. It had all kinds of fucking viruses and all kinds of shit, and there you are, like, oh, not well, you've already paid for it, you need this, now you got to have it. What are you gonna do? You're gonna return it? I mean, maybe, but it's you're the one who paid for it prior to seeing what it was, prior to testing it. You know, and then also, like, there's also this difficult thing to deal with, which is kind of difficult on everyone, on more on the people that are experimenting things, which is you can make your demo work completely fine and be super immersive and fantastic, but then when the final product arrives, the part where the demo is going through is fantastic, but everything else is fucking broken. So it's like, how do you even tell? Why the fuck did people, like, why did we stop having fucking beta testers, like people that would actually be paid to test the games? And the fucking, like, nowadays people paid the fucking game, pay for the game to test the fucking game. What the fuck happened? You know, when did we allow this to fucking happen? It should be, you get paid to test the game and you fucking be truthful about whether the game was working or not. And now people pay to play the fucking betas in undeveloped games. It's like, it's so stupid.
Well, I think it comes down to like accountability, and like gamers don't they don't have accountability for for the developers. And even when there are times when they do, like there are times when people criticize developers into oblivion, and then it gets labeled as, you know, they're harassing the developers and they're
Because they
giving
don't
death
do it
threats and everything.
properly. They don't do it properly. People fucking, when they get people, when they fucking go on Twitter and shit, they do harass. That's the problem. They do harass. They, if a game, if you pre-purchase a game and the game comes out like shit, the game's garbage when it comes out, and you go on Twitter sending death threats and shit, who the fuck's to blame? You're the one who pre-purchased the game in the first place. You know? Steam, so Steam has a pretty good deal, in my opinion, in regards to that, which is, if you buy something and you try it for like at least 2 hours, you can, if you pass the 2 hour mark, then you can't really give it, you can't return it. But if you don't, I think that's how it works, right?
Yeah, it's 2 hours. But
okay,
like,
so if you, it gives you time to experiment with the game, see if you like the game or not, and if the game works properly or not. And then if the game doesn't work properly, give it back. Give me my money back. Here's your fucking product.
yeah, but the problem with only allowing for 2 hours, that I think, is the fact that if I get 20 hours into a game and then all of a sudden, you know, like I'm at the final, you know, couple of missions in the game, and then the whole thing crashes and it destroys my save, corrupts my save file, and then I have to basically completely restart the game or something like that. And if at that point I just want to refund it, you
But
know,
no,
I
but
can't
you've
even
put
get part
20
of it.
hours into it, dude. Like, why do you want to refund something you've put 20 hours into?
Well, if it was a broken product, if it was a faulty product, like where I
But if
couldn't
no, but if it's
complete
a
it.
faulty product, you shouldn't put 20 hours into it. That
But I
doesn't
mean,
make any
like,
sense.
but I mean, like, I'm not talking about like the. So you've had a good experience up until the 20 hour mark, right? Like
Well,
you have a game.
I mean, 20 hours is really good. I would say, if it was like $60 or something, I would say you kind of gotten your money's worth. You know what I mean?
I mean, that depends on your subjective like value on your time. And I would say I expect if I'm gonna put probably a dollar, at least a dollar an hour. So if I get up to 60 hours, then maybe
That
maybe there's a little bit
see,
that may be a
that
little bit.
doesn't that to me that doesn't make much sense. Honestly, I mean, if you play a game for 20 hours and then the game's like, oh, well, shit, something happened. And if it's like a crash or something, maybe it's something they didn't really predict. Maybe it's something that I don't know. Maybe you're not really explaining this properly to me because I'm retarded. So you got to keep that in mind.
Well,
But
there's
it,
actually a good case in the video that they were talking about is there was a Rayman game. People would get to like 20 hours into the game, and after they put in 20 hours into the game, they would be approaching the final stages. They'd be on like they'd have a couple more stages to go to finish the game, and then if you hit a
20
certain
hours to
point,
finish a game? That wow, that's a crazy game.
well, it has a lot of levels. There's a lot of different levels you can go through, and especially if you're hundred percenting it, like someone's who's trying to 100% the game, you could spend a lot of time getting the different items in the
So
areas or
that's definitely
whatever.
your money's worth. I'm sorry, but that's your money's worth. Like it just
Yeah, but then
is.
they didn't even get to complete the game. They got to that point and then it would crash and corrupt the game, the save file for the game. So then they would have to basically play it over again if they wanted to continue. So and they couldn't refund it at that point, obviously. So
Yeah, but he already got 20 hours. It's just I don't know. Maybe
but
it's I'm
say
not
there's
making. It's
okay,
just it
so
feels very entitled to me. That shit feels very entitled because it's 20
so
hours. 20 hours is a lot of time. It's a long time.
so let's put it in instead of hours. Let's think about it in like the length of a game, right? So let's say you're playing through Assassin's Creed or some game like that, and say you've gotten into the next to the last act of the campaign, right?
Yep.
And you've gotten to that point, and it doesn't matter how many hours you put into it. You've got to that point, and then the game just absolutely crashes, breaks, and then you have to start from scratch. Like you have
Well, they
to
have to
if
make a
you
patch for it.
yeah, but what if they don't patch it? And if the what even if they patch it, what if they don't address your problem? And then you've put that time into it, and yet it it completely crashed on you, and you didn't have the
I
opportunity
find
to.
it hard to believe that someone would have a very specific problem that upon getting patches you still have that same problem. Um, because if you have
Yeah, but
that
the
problem, other people are gonna have that problem, guaranteed in the world. So if they're gonna patch it, probably they will patch, other shit. So I don't know, man. This feels kind of like a weird subject because
well,
like
it's there was so for the game that I was mentioning, like a lot of people knew that this would happen to some degree, but they never patched it, they never fixed it. But if you wanted to play this game, some depending on it would depend on if your computer was just fine. That's you know if how your configuration interacts with the game itself can depend too. I mean, a lot of PCs are different. Depending on your console, some people are trying to, like if you're making a game for an older version like like the Xbox One or whatever, and then you're making one for the Xbox Series or what, those are different consoles, and they may have different problems. And that's why you should play test them and make sure that all these things are not happening. But there's no way to like test every configuration on PC if they offer it on PC and stuff like that. So it's going to be really difficult. They can have a bunch of different configurations and they can test, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have to just assume that okay, we've tested enough on PC. We've got different configurations. They should all work. But if they don't, then I mean, if your PC can't play it and that you meet the specs and you don't have any problem playing other games, and it's just this one game that has this problem, I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to at least get part of your money back.
yeah, but
I
I
would think,
mean, if you've put dude, it's like if if you've put so much time into a game, you're already your money's worth. So it's like it's kind of like you eat. So you go through a dish in a restaurant, and this might be a weird analogy here, but you go through a dish on a restaurant, or you go through a meal, and the meal goes pretty well and stuff, and at some point your dessert has an issue with it. It doesn't taste. It tastes funny. So should you not pay for the meal, even like just because the dessert tastes funny? You know what I mean?
No, but
everything else is fine.
So here, you're actually making a good analogy, and that I can actually make my point. So say that, like if the dessert was bad in this scenario, I would just ask the manager, like, can you take that off my ticket? And if it was bad and I did it wasn't good, and I didn't want it, then the 99% of the time they'll just take it off the ticket, right? That's how that whole process operates. But if I get to the last, say the last tenth of the game, the last tenth for me to finish that game, and maybe I should be able to get a partial refund, like 10%.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Sure. If you can't go past a certain point, and that's the game's fault, and they don't patch it, and it's their fault that they don't patch it, I agree. Yeah, you should get a partial refund, but the full refund, not at, like, no, because you've already played a long time. You've already gotten to that point. So it's like, doesn't really make much sense. Because a lot of like these indie games, like, if you think about it, a lot of these indie games and shit that are developed by one person or whatever, they're not properly optimized. And while maybe if you boot up the game and you play the game for like a little bit, the game runs fine, and then you have some part where it's broken just because it's not been like optimized, or it's not been properly coded, and it reaches that point and it breaks, it crashes literally every single machine. But because it's one dude, the dude struggles and takes like 2 months to figure out a patch for it. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's a little bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line, right? I think there's a fine line there of there. But right now, what I'm saying is that the current policies are absolutely abysmal, because if I play something for more than 2 hours, and then all of a sudden after the 2 hours I have a game destroying bug, right after that 2 hours I can't refund it or do anything. So
right,
it's there needs to be a little bit more leniency, at least partial refunds in some way. But
yeah,
right now they don't have anything like that. So I mean, that's the big problem.
I agree with that. But it's just a messed up thing. But yeah, don't pre-purchase games. Don't buy early accesses. Just let the thing get developed. Unless
you could be like the people.
Maybe
I don't know if you've seen this, but people bought Star Citizen into the game. It was a Kickstarter, I think, and it has over 400,000. No, was it? Is it 400? No, I think it was more. I think it was 400. Was it 400 million? Maybe 400 million actually. Star Citizen.
Yeah, Star Citizen has some crazy amount of money put into that shit. Yeah,
I think it's 400 million.
Yeah, that would make sense. But
it's still not out. Yeah, here it is. It's raised 400 million and it's still not out. It's been in development for like nearly a decade.
Yeah.
But they launched a Kickstarter and people still haven't got that, and I think that they're entitled to a full refund.
I think Star Citizen's most money comes from the fact that they sell ships for like fucking stupid amounts of money. Like they sell ships for hundreds of dollars, and stuff like that. Um, but you do have playable stuff, right? So I mean,
Well,
it,
no. Star Citizen isn't even launched. Like they haven't even actually get the game
no,
isn't
but you
out.
can play the game if you backed it and shit. You can play the
Oh,
game.
you can? I didn't know you.
Yes, you can play the. I mean, you've been able to play the game for many years now. Um, so it's kind of like it's a product still in development. I can't say too much on this because I don't play the like I've never played the game. I don't think I will play the game because I don't have a machine for that. But I mean, I can't like we can't just be sitting here and like, oh, Star Citizen sucks and it's an alpha and it's earned so much money because there is playable shit and there's a lot of shit. Well, I say a lot, but there's quite a few things for people to do in it. And actually, Gundam made quite a fair amount of videos playing Star Citizen
Really?
himself.
I didn't know.
Yes. Um, and there is a lot of really, I mean, from what I've seen, there's a lot of really cool shit in it, but a lot of like the way they make some money with just selling ships, which again, I like there are some crazy things about those ships and stuff in terms of programming, but like hundreds of dollars for ships. But I think Star Citizen is a game like people really want something that's sort of resembling, I don't know, like Star Wars or something. People want to go above and beyond and they want to fucking explore they want to explore space, they want to explore all that shit, and they want to be able to go out there and stuff, you know. They don't want to just be here stuck on Earth. And I think for
Yeah,
a
I mean
lot of
that's
people the prospect of having this playable thing that it's an immersive experience was really cool, and that's why a lot of people backed it, and that's why it made so much money, you know. But
yeah.
it's I would assume that it is a really hard thing to come by to make such a like a game that's this is it I think it's procedurally generated. I think it's like supposed to be infinite and all that. So it's really, I mean, goddamn, dude, goddamn, right?
Yeah, I mean it's supposed to be what I think No Man's Sky wishes it was.
Yeah,
Because it's supposed to be like a fully persistent world across the whole thing, and it's
universe.
basically yeah a whole universe where people can actually travel through the actual universe. From what I remember of it, and it's almost like Eve Online, but it seems to be more of a toned down because I know like
It's
Eve
like a first
Online is like
person shooter.
super yeah it's less like a RTS, like kind of like a Eve Online, or is sort of like an RTS.
Yeah. So yeah, just like anarchist said there, people want a really immersive experience. Exactly. That's why the game got so popular. That's literally okay. I don't know if you know about Chronicles of Valyria, but this was like a supposedly an MMORPG that was going to be the revolutionizing MMORPG where people could live till they were old, people could die of old age, people could get sick, people could take care of. It was literally like a fucking Second Life, but as a video game, and as like you know with RPG fucking characteristics and all that kind of stuff. People were super excited about this. People were crazy about it. It raised like 4 millions or 5 millions, and all that kind of stuff. And it basically never got to fruition. You know what I mean? It never got to fruition. It never got made. And the dude who was behind the whole project, SAO. No, I don't do weep shit. I'm talking about Chronicles of Valyria. Um, sorry, I'm
They're
not weed.
comparing it to they're comparing it to Sword Art Online, which is basically just like a VR version of what you're talking about. It reminds me of there was a movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it, called Gamer. And there's basically this guy. There is like a Second Life where people are doing VR Second Life, and then there's also there's this game where people are pretending to like play something like Call of Duty, or it's more like a battle royale, whatever. And these they take actual prisoners to be the ones who are played as the characters. So it was pretty interesting to see something like
Dude,
that. Like I actually
if
like
I
that
had
movie.
money at the time, I would have backed Identity, which luckily I didn't have money because turned out to be a very shit game. But essentially, Identity was supposed to be the really cool Second Life, and this was basically done by the people that they made the, I think it was Alta's Life or some shit like that for Arma 2 and Arma 3. And those mods were really cool because they were like basically pure RPGs, role playing games and stuff. And turned out it was garbage when they launched like a sort of a trying type of thing. It was really bad. It was really shit. It was kind of like, well, fucking rip, dude. Fucking rip, because now you paid for this shit and now you're stuck with basically nothing. But a lot of people were really excited for that. I don't know if you remember Identity. Oh, it's still on Steam, huh? I didn't know that. But basically, yeah, so the reviews are mostly negative. There's 539 reviews of this. Let me see. Game is so buggy, even my review is wrong. Game is supposed to be about cops and robbers. At least they got the robbers part right. But the way they advertised this game was that this is literally going to be like a good fucking quality game, Second Life, where you could be whatever you wanted. That's why it was called Identity. You could be a chef. You could own a store, like a little corner store with clothes. You could sell clothes. You could be a trucker. You could be a cop. You could be a robber. You could be anything you wanted to be. You could be the guy that's like the prison guard. You could be anything. You could live in the woods and hunt animals and get the meat and the hide and all that kind of stuff. You could literally be anything. This is how the game was advertised. And then when the game came out, it was this really, really disappointing hub. There was like a main hub, and it was full of bugs, and it was like really bad. This is technically why I don't get excited for games anymore, because the really promising projects, the projects that like, because if you're trying to make a game and you're trying to sort of sell it, people are gonna lie about it. People are gonna say that it's gonna be the greatest fucking thing you've ever seen, you've ever played, and it turns out to not be that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I mean, there are a lot of, there's still a lot of good games out there, and I think that as people actually stand on principle and not pre-order bad games, I think that maybe we'll have.
Don't pre-order, period. What do you mean don't pre-order bad games, dude? It doesn't matter what game it is. You just been showed that Battlefield 2042 was garbage at launch. Maybe you didn't experience that because maybe you didn't play it that much. But like Cyberpunk 2077, other example, garbage at launch. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just don't pre-order shit because you don't know what you're getting. You could be getting a fantastic product, or you could be getting absolute garbage. Don't buy meat you have not even seen yet. You have not even not tasted, but you haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my rant of a guy that doesn't like pre-purchases, dude. I was an avid Total Biscuit viewer. You know what I mean? I watched all his videos and shit, and I fucking loved how real the dude was about all this kind of shit. And he's gone, and now we keep getting this kind of stuff, these fucking like shit products left and right. You know what I mean? And fucking gaming
And
journalists don't do their
it
proper job, and they just want the monies and stuff. And
well,
it's
and free
like,
stuff, and they get free access to the game. It's called access journalism at this point because they get access to the games, and then that's that's the the whole sell, right? Is if you're a game journalist, you get to get the games for free, and then that's it. Like you don't care. A lot of times they may get swag, they may get cool stuff from being part of that experience, but they're not in it to review the game like we would. Like I would trash on a game if it was actually bad, but
yeah.
a lot of the game journos they will you know do a fluff piece for it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So F those motherfuckers that are just in it for, like making money off gaming journalism and suck ass about it. But we got about 3 minutes left in this show. But I believe, are you available for like a few more hours or something?
Sure.
Okay, so because once again, LP Faust won't be doing his show after we are done. We're gonna go again to the general voice afterwards, and I'm gonna keep on streaming this to VIMM. So it's not gonna be live because I haven't had stored broadcasts for about 2 months on VIMM. So yeah, that's the thing. He's gonna be back on the 3rd of December. But yeah, so that's about it. Anyways, 2 minutes left. Let's talk about our socials and shit. So I'll go first because usually people remember the last guy better. So I'll go first. So I stream on Twitch and VIMM and shit. And I play video games. If you want to see anything by me, you can check eldritchpigsty.me. Boom. Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch and Vim as well. I also have I post on Twitter pretty frequently, and I post on Hive. So if you follow me on the blockchain, actual Hive blockchain, you'll get see my posts as well. And I also have a YouTube channel. I have Trey Future Daniel YouTube channel and a Trey Talks Trey's Think Tank. That's the other channel where I talk more about political and social topics. So
there you have it, folks. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you for joining us today for the Mazeofthoughts number 4. We got some more next week. And is it next week that we're gonna have? It is. So next week, LP Faust will be doing his show. So you can have joculation again. You can joculate once more. So thank you very much for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next week. Peace.